My name's Lisa Lintner. I'm the library director for the Johnson County Public Library, and I really appreciate you coming tonight to find out a little bit more of what's happening at JCPL and honestly, libraries all over the state of Indiana. But we're going to concentrate on JCPL and funding today. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. In case you didn't know, there are a lot of library districts in the state of Indiana. Johnson County has 3. And here we are. We're the pink part of the county. Johnson County serves a little over 100, almost 128,000 people in the county. And then the green section, that's actually the Greenwood Library District, and that you kind of think of Old Town Greenwood, that sort of surrounds there. And then the little yellow corner bit, Edinburgh Public Library actually enjoys being in 3 counties. They're in Bartholomew, Shelby, and Johnson County, but those are separate library districts, but they're in the same boat we are with some of these issues with funding. So we'll go ahead and just move on. We have 4 library locations, and then we have a library administration building in Johnson County. So raise your hand when I say your favorite branch. We have up at the top left, we have Clark Pleasant Branch in Whiteland. Do we have any fans? All right. Franklin Branch, you're right here. Woohoo! Trafalgar Branch on the Prairie. And the White River Branch, an unincorporated, actually it's in the city of Greenwood, but it serves unincorporated Johnson County residents. And then downtown, just south of the courthouse, is the Library Services Center. Years ago, we moved the administration out of Franklin Branch to give more room for public services. And then you can see our latest location, JCPL on Wheels. That is our bookmobile serving all areas of our library district that maybe has issues coming to the library and maybe don't have a car or easy transportation. So now we're going to just discuss how is JCPL funded. And as you can imagine, even when I go to grade school, a lot of kids will say through taxes. They know libraries are funded through taxes. So at JCPL, we are funded 50% with your property taxes. And we were just talking this evening that our tax rate for property taxes for our operating fund is like 5 cents per $100 of assessed value. So 50% property taxes, 40% are local income taxes. So if you live in Johnson County and you are working and get a paycheck that has your taxes deducted, a portion of your income taxes come back to JCPL as well. And then we have 10% of other taxes, and that could be like license tax. It could be supplemental local income tax that we can't expect every year, but sometimes due to a calculation, we get some extra funds from the state. So 10% are those other taxes. And then we have other support, which is the non-tax based support. So some of that non-tax based is coming from the Institute for Museum and Library Funding. And you may have heard a lot about that getting defunded, eliminated. Now they're back again. So we've had some up and down roller coasters regarding the Institute for Museum and Library Funding, but JCPL receives support indirectly from them through the Indiana State Library. IMLS, or the Institute for Museum and Library Services, gives money to the Indiana State Library, and then we benefit from many of the programs those dollars fund. For instance, the courier service, when we transport our books here, when somebody from Shelby County wants to borrow them, we get that through like a subsidy from the state. And those are the types of things that are going to increase for us because of budget issues. And then we receive indirect funding also from the Indiana State Library as well. You may have heard they had a 30% budget reduction, which is just enormous. This past July that took effect. They recently laid off 16 positions at the Indiana State Library, and 6 of those were at the Historical Bureau that is under the Indiana State Library. So one of the major things that immediately happened, we will no longer receive kind of supplemental internet funds from the Indiana State Library. In the past, we almost had 100% of our internet paid for through the Indiana State Library and also through discounts from the federal government. Right now, we're still receiving discounts from the federal government, but that extra bit that the Indiana State Library provided, we are no longer going to receive. And things like our courier service will have a higher increase for us to continue to have those services. And those are the types of things we'll just kind of know more as the months go along. And then I want to also mention, because I can see a lot of folks from our JCPL Foundation and our Friends group, raise your hand or wave if you are part of that group. We also benefit from fundraising and book sales that our Friends and Foundation provide. Now, their support equal about 3% of the equivalent of our operating budget. But it is no way possible for them to be able to replace tax dollars to keep the library funded. What the Foundation and Friends do is they provide us excellent ways to have innovative programs and learning experiences that we could not provide through our taxpayer dollars. So here is what is at risk now. So there has been new state legislation. It's referred to as SEA 1, Senate Enrolled Act 1, that for us, we have some serious risk of losing 40% of our budget because of changes to how local income taxes will be distributed. So historically, ever since I've been here, I'm 10 years the director in October, and ever since I've been here, we could rely on a monthly distribution from the county, automatic, that was calculated based on different percentages. So would the Edinburgh Public Library System, and so would the Greenwood Public Library System, along with many library districts in the state of Indiana. In fact, the majority of library districts in Indiana do have that local income tax as part of their budget. For us, it's 40%, and for Edinburgh and Greenwood, it's closer to 50%. But what changes, and again, this is like, it's not happening today, but it's on the books to happen soon, is that beginning in 2028, we no longer can just expect those monthly distributions from local income tax to come to us. Instead, in 2027, we're going to have to petition the county council to get those funds. And there is a maximum we can receive, which is not what we're receiving now, but we can make it work. But there is no minimum that they have to fund. So we could possibly see 0% of our budget funded by local income tax. And that is why we're here today, folks, because if that happens, your public library, as you know it, will be in serious trouble. So we're going to kind of go, well, what does serious trouble look like? If we don't have 40% of our budget, we are going to have to make some serious changes. And what's really disappointing to me is that it's not just like a one-time thing. We're going to have to do this every single year. We're going to have to petition every single year to get this funds. So if one year we're funded at 0%, we'll have to make drastic changes. Most likely close branches, most likely have to lay off staff, most likely you can kiss your hoopla checkouts goodbye, and things like that. But the next year, if we're funded 10%, then that's a whole different level of what we have to fund, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for us to budget and sustain services from year to year. So what does this mean? Well, it means today we're okay. And tomorrow we're okay too. In 2026, we're probably okay. And in 2027, that's when we start kind of discovering how okay or not okay we're going to be. And that is when we need, like every person in this room, to be a support and help us make sure we get funded at our, at our maximum level allowable, right? We're not talking building our budget way beyond what it is now. We're talking about maintaining a budget that's less than probably we're experiencing right now. And again, we'll make it work until we can't make it work. So what are some choices we're making today at JCPL? Well, we're being really cautious with jobs, but we're also pausing a very important project for the White River branch. We've been working on a modest expansion and a complete remodel of the White River branch for several years now. We are putting that on pause until we can find out, hey, what is happening with our funding, right? So we may have to wait a year and a half or so before we can move forward with that project. And you can see here, I did put a little bit of an example of what the expansion kind of looks like. We would be almost doubling the children's department area by adding a wing toward the forest. If you know that branch, there's woods behind the back of the building, and we would kind of enclose a lot of the area where the sidewalk is, where you walk in, and make that usable space. And then also put in a new entrance so that when you come off of the parking lot, you're walking right into the library, not walking down a long pathway. So those are paused, right? We're not giving up. We still want to do this, but we have to be cautious, right? We can't, this is a $16 million project. We have money saved for it, and we would need a library bond to pay for the rest of it. But we have to figure out what is actually going to be happening with our budget in the next few years. So what can you do? Well, the very first thing you can do is sign up to be an advocate if you haven't already. And we put this on our foundation page. It's a very easy form to fill out. We just need your name, your email. And if you want to share a story about why JCPL is important to you, we'd love to hear your story. Those are testimonials we can share with the public and share with our elected officials. And we will communicate. I will communicate to you. I will send you messages like about this evening's program. And when we learn more information, which we hope to learn some guidance about, kind of what really will happen to local income tax in 2028. And it's not just public libraries. Fire districts that are outside of towns and cities, they're also in the same boat we are with this new change. And also trustees' office, like township trustees. The three of us are kind of in the same boat with this local income tax major change. So we need lots of folks who love the library and love how we operate currently to sustain our budgeting in the next few years. And then what can you do? So there are some really easy things you can do. If you don't have a library card, get one. If you have a library card, use it. Come to our branches, visit us, check out materials, use your downloadables. We want to show the entire county how well used we are. And I like to tell folks that Johnson County Public Library, are the 10th largest library district in the state based on population. But we rank the 3rd in highest attendance at library programs. That's incredible. So you've got Indianapolis, you've got Fort Wayne, and you've got Johnson County. So let's show the whole community and our elected officials how important JCPL is by using it. So having our numbers, that's fantastic. The other thing is just speak up. Make sure you're telling your family, your friends, and if you know elected officials, particularly county council members, because they're the ones who's going to be the ones approving our petition for local income taxes in 2028. Speak up to them. Let them know you value public libraries in Johnson County. And come a little further down the road, we may ask for supporters to either write emails, send letters, make phone calls, show up to public meetings. Those are all things you can do. But really sharing right now, today, using our services, coming to our programs, and using your library card is the easiest advocacy you can do today. All right, and then I'm just going to kind of point on 4 areas that I feel JCPL excels. And one thing the library here excels in is early childhood education. We are maybe the first preschool kind of experience a lot of families have. We're a lot of times the first socialization that preschoolers have at a story time, and they get excited about books and they get excited about reading. And I like to say that, it's very easy for a family with preschoolers to check out 30 or more books a month. And I did the math. It would cost you $4,320 if you purchased discounted picture books at Amazon for a year. So just using your library card and checking out just a few books every single week is an incredible value to our residents with young children in their families. And then we spend a lot of our time, our librarians spend a lot of times programming and developing great literacy projects and STEAM programs, and that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math for all residents that are school-age programs. We do support for teachers with teacher collections. We do a really fun program called Lit Loot for teens that teenagers can fill out a form, and we'll give them a cool bag full of books. One book they get to keep, a few books they check out from the library, and then some fun activities to get them excited about continuing to read as they are growing older. And we also do lots of programming with schools and with homeschoolers. So we like to partner with teachers of all kinds and support them with our collection. We also have a great focus on serving our older population of folks, and I am that older population of folks too, not yet retired, but getting there. So we do lots of outreach to senior centers and senior communities. We do hundreds of programs, crafts, book clubs, all sorts of things to get you excited about coming to the library and connecting with people. And then our tax prep programs for retired folks is super popular, and from January through April, it's like maybe the hottest thing in town to try to get an appointment for. So we support folks really of all ages. And then I like to say Johnson County is the literary hub, not just of Indiana, but of the Midwest, okay? We have fantastic author programs at JCPL, and I know some of you even attend Wild Geese's programs. I mean, we are the place in Indiana to go to really get an amazing literary experience. We have amazing book clubs that you can join, and we have tons of book discussion kits here at our library system, but you can also borrow them from the Indiana State Library, at least for a little while. And then we have a local author fair that one of our librarians at Clark Pleasant Branch hosts every single year, and they do a tremendous job bringing literacy and authors support to Johnson County. And then this is just the fun stuff, right? Did you know, of course you knew because you're here, that we have what you need. So if there's a book that you're like, wow, I heard about this book online, or this book was mentioned in a podcast, and we don't have it in our collection, let us know. We'll order a copy of it for you, or we'll get it through interlibrary loan. And then there's just so many types of things besides books that Johnson County Public Library now provides. We have experience passes. You can go to the Idle Museum. You can go to the Indiana State Historical Society Museum. You can go to the Speedway, right? Speedway, yeah. And you can, let's see, the pool passes. You can go to Freedom Springs or the Franklin Pools with a free experience as well. We have library of things, tons of board games. Don't spend $55 on a new board game until you know you're going to love it. Check it out from us and then go buy it and have it in your collection. We also have free notary services and free faxing. People are surprised every single day that they can fax items for free because it's quite expensive at other services in Johnson County. And our printing is very low cost at only 10 cents for black and white and 25 cents for color. You can even print from home, so when your ink cartridge runs out for the 50th time this year, you can send a job to print and then just come into the library and release the print job and get that taken care of. And then we also have meeting rooms for the public. We have very low costs, like $30 an hour for either businesses or parties or things like that. Or if you're like an HOA, a homeowners association, or a nonprofit group, we would let you use these rooms for free. So great services for the little tax dollars that you pay toward us. All right, I'm going to brag again. So we've got, these are statistics from 2024, last year. We had nearly 3,500 programs with nearly 65,000 people attending them last year. And that is due to the fantastic staff who work here and are just dedicated to provide those lifelong learning experiences for all of us. And I'm not going to read every single thing here. I know you can see that we have nearly 300,000 items in our physical collection. So those are things you go to the shelf, you pull off, and you can check out. And of that, we had 1 million of those items checked out last year. And about 300,000 items were our digital items, which we literally have billions of items to access. Now, I will grant, I think several of the billions are probably like ancestry records. So, we're going to say 2 million like real downloadable type stuff, okay? So we give you access to so many things at Johnson County. And then summer is still going on. So I want to pitch Explore Summer. We have read 4,600,000 minutes together so far as a community. And we have another week left, so let's keep reading. So if you haven't joined Explore Summer, you can still sign up today. Go to the desk right after this and get signed up. We'll get you some great, fun, fantastic prizes. Grown-ups only have to read 20 hours. You little kiddos only have to read 10 hours. But it's a program designed to keep kids learning and engaged in educational activities while they're out of school. So, that's it. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have and hope that you guys will sign up and advocate for us when we need you.